Shalom Yeladim. Let's continue talking about Megillat Ruth. Well, Ruth and Naomi had a very long trip to go back to Eretz Yisrael. Both of them were very excited to start a new life. When they got back, they settled down, and then they realized, how are they going to live? There is no Abba to go to work for them. What are they going to do? Ruth said to Naomi, I am young. You are a little older. You will stay at home and relax, and I will go out and I will make sure that we have food to eat. It happened to be that when they arrived back in Eretz Yisrael, it was a special time of year. It was the time of the Katzir. Chag HaKatzir? Zaman HaKatzir? Remember? Katzir means the cutting of the new wheat. Well, we all know that the Jewish farmer, he has 3 ways of giving tzedakah when he cuts his wheat. Well, first way is when he drops 1 or 2 pieces of wheat on the floor. The poor person is allowed to take it. The owner may not pick it up and put it back in his basket. Another way that the farmer gives tzedakah is when he bundles his wheat to take it to preserve in his silo to save for later. If he leaves one of those bundles behind, then that's left for the poor. And there's a third way. The farmer has a corner of his field that is special for the poor to take. Ruth said to Naomi, I will go to the fields. It is the time of the cutting of the harvest of the wheat. And I will pick up the wheat from the floor. I will make sure to take from the corner. And I will bring back wheat so we can make flour. And from the flour, we can make cookies and cakes and bread and all the things that we need. And I will take care of you. Naomi was so grateful. What a wonderful girl that Ruth is. Okay, she said. Tomorrow you go out to the field. Well, the next day, Ruth went out to the field. She came to a field, and she wasn't so comfortable with that field. The people were not talking so nicely to each other. Their language wasn't so nice. She picked a little bit, and she brought it home. And she thought to herself, I'm not going to go back to that field. I didn't feel so comfortable. I'm going to go to a different field tomorrow. The next day she went to another field. And again, the people were not behaving so nicely to each other. Their language wasn't so nice. She said, I don't think I'm going to come back here tomorrow. Every day she tried out a new field. Till one day, she walked into a field and she felt something different. The people in the field were talking nicely to each other. The language that they used was nice words. And people were really nice to her. Well, she was able to follow along after they were cutting and picking up the things that were lost and were dropped and putting them into her basket. She took from the corner, and soon enough, her basket was filled with wheat. She came home pretty early that day. Naomi said, What happened? How come you're here so fast? Ruth said, I went to a field today. It was amazing. The people were so nice to each other. The language that they used were so nice and fine. They were so kind to me. Naomi said, That's so wonderful. Do you know who the owner of the field is? She said, Yeah, a man called Boaz. He wasn't there today, but yes, a man called Boaz. Naomi smiled and she said, Do you know? Boaz happens to be a cousin of my husband Elimelech. You didn't go to a stranger's field. You went to family. You went to a field that belongs to our family. How wonderful that you felt comfortable there. The next day, when Ruth went to the field to pick the fallen pieces of wheat and put them in the basket, and to take from the corner that was set aside for tzedakah, actually on that day, Boaz, the owner of the field, came to look at what was going on in his field. He noticed something very different. He noticed a young woman who was bending down with tzniut, who was speaking gently, who looked so fine and wonderful. He asked his workers, "Who is this young lady?" And they said, "Don't you know? This is Ruth. She came all the way from Moab to become a Yehudiah. And she takes care of Ruth like it's her mother, her Naomi, like it's her mother. She comes out every day, and she picks and she takes care and she makes the flour and she cooks and she cleans and she takes care of Naomi so beautifully." Boaz was amazed. He went over to Ruth and he introduced himself and he said, "My name is Boaz. I am the owner of this field. And I am asking you, Ruth, that you come every day to our field. Don't go to anybody else's field during this harvest time, during this Zman HaKatzir. We will take care of you here. And you can eat together with my workers. You don't have to sit on the side. You can sit at the table with them. You can eat what I serve for them. You can even sit with me." Naomi was very, very touched. It made her feel amazing. Made her feel really good. And from that time on, every single day, Ruth would go to the field and pick wheat that was cut, that was left. She would go to the corner, and Boaz had even told his workers to drop some extra ones as Ruth was walking behind them, so that she would even come home with a fuller basket of wheat at the end of the day. We're going to hear more about the Megillah in our next video.